I was sitting at my parents' Thanksgiving table when my brother-in-law Derek decided to remind everyone I was between opportunities. The turkey was perfect, the cranberry sauce homemade, and the atmosphere should have been warm. Instead, Derek's comment landed like a stone in still water. Everyone laughed, that awkward, pitying kind of laughter. I smiled, took a sip of wine, and stayed quiet. 3 months had passed since I stepped back from running my company, and nobody at this table knew what that really meant. Derek certainly did not. He sat there in his expensive watch and designer shoes, completely unaware that his biggest client, his career-making deal, the contract, he would not stop bragging about, that was mine. Every single dollar. If only he knew. Before we get into what happened next, I would love to know where you are watching from. Drop your city in the comments below. If you have ever been underestimated by someone who should have known better, go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe to this channel because what happened after that Thanksgiving dinner, nobody at that table saw it coming. Trust me, you are going to want to see how this unfolds. 6 months before that Thanksgiving dinner, I was standing in my corner office in Austin, Texas, staring at a skyline I had worked 70-hour weeks to afford viewing. I was 29 years old, and the CEO of TechBridge Solutions, a company I had started 5 years earlier in my cramped one-bedroom apartment. We provided cloud infrastructure and data analytics platforms to mid-sized businesses all across the Midwest. 42 employees depended on paychecks I signed. Our annual revenue had just crossed 8 figures. From the outside, I had everything. But that Tuesday morning at 4 a.m., I woke up with crushing chest pain. Could not breathe. Thought I was dying. My roommate rushed me to the emergency room. Turns out it was not a heart attack. Just anxiety. Just my body screaming that I could not keep going like this. The doctor, this kind older woman with gray hair, looked at me over her clipboard and said, "You are 29. Your body should not be doing this. Something has to change." She was right. I had missed my nephew's 3rd birthday party because of an investor meeting. Had not been to the gym in 8 months. Lived on coffee, energy drinks, and whatever takeout got delivered fastest. My last relationship ended because I fell asleep during dinner. Again. I was building something incredible, sure, but I was destroying myself in the process. So I made a decision that confused everyone who knew about it. I stepped back as CEO. Hired Elizabeth Chen, wait no. I hired an experienced operator named Patricia to run daily operations. I transitioned to board chair, working behind the scenes on strategy and major decisions. I still owned 67% of the company's shares, still attended board meetings, still approved budgets and major contracts, but I was not grinding 70 hours a week anymore. I could breathe again. Here's the thing, though. I kept it quiet. Did not make some big public announcement. Did not update my LinkedIn with a lengthy post about new chapters and exciting transitions. Most people outside the company did not know I was still heavily involved. To them, especially to family who did not really understand tech, it looked like I had just quit. Like I had failed. Derek was one of those people. My older sister Amanda married him 4 years ago. Back then, he seemed decent enough. Worked as a sales guy at some marketing firm. Friendly, normal. But over the past 2 years, something shifted. He got promoted to regional sales director at Apex Media Group, and suddenly everything became about status. About showing off. About making sure everyone knew how successful he was. At family gatherings, Derek became insufferable. Always talking about his big deals. Name-dropping clients like we were supposed to be impressed. Making little comments about everyone else's careers. When he found out I had stepped back from my CEO position, his whole attitude toward me changed. The condescension was thick enough to cut with a knife. "Must be nice having all that free time, Luis," he said at a 4th of July barbecue. "Let me know if you need any job leads. I know people." At my niece's birthday party in August, "I could probably get you an entry-level position at my company if you are interested. I mean, you have to start somewhere, right?" Every single time I just smiled and changed the subject. What was I going to do, argue with him at a kid's birthday party? start listing my accomplishments to prove I was still successful. That felt petty, beneath me. So I stayed quiet. Let him think whatever he wanted to think. My sister Amanda pulled me aside once after one of Derek's comments. "I am sorry about him," she whispered. "He has been really stressed about work lately. I think that is why he is so intense." I told her it was fine, did not bother me. But honestly, it did. Not because I cared what Derek thought of me. I knew my worth. My bank account knew my worth. My company's growth trajectory knew my worth. What bothered me was watching my sister make excuses for someone who was becoming someone I did not recognize. Which brings us back to Thanksgiving. Derek showed up in a brand new BMW, leased I would learn later at $900 a month. He wore a watch that looked like it cost more than most people's monthly rent. His shoes were Italian leather. Everything about him screamed money, new money, the kind of money that needed to be seen to feel real. We sat down to dinner. Turkey stuffing, mashed potatoes, the works. My mom had been cooking since dawn. For about 20 minutes, everything was normal. Then Derek started. "So, Luis," he said, cutting into his turkey, "still finding yourself? Or are you finally ready to join the real workforce again?" The table went quiet. My mom tried to redirect. "Derek, how about we talk about something else?" He ignored her. "I mean, I get it. Not everyone is cut out for the pressure. Sometimes you have to know when to fold, right?" He laughed. Nobody else did, but they did not defend me either. Just that awkward silence that feels like agreement. I took a breath, stayed calm. "I am doing fine, Derek. Thanks for asking." He was not done. "Actually funny you should mention it. I just landed this massive contract. 6 figures. Cannot say the client name, but let's just say they are the backbone for a lot of businesses around here. Huge tech services company. This deal is going to make my year, probably get me promoted to VP. Something in my brain clicked. 6-figure contract. Tech services company. Backbone of businesses. 2 months ago, TechBridge had signed a $60,000 contract with a marketing firm for our 4th quarter campaign. I had approved the budget myself. My pulse quickened. "That is great, Derek. What kind of services?" "Digital marketing, full package, social media content creation, SEO, the works. These tech companies, they are great at building products but terrible at marketing themselves. That is where we come in." He leaned back in his chair, completely satisfied with himself. I excused myself, told everyone I needed to check something on my phone. Went into my parents' study and pulled up my email. Typed quickly to Sarah, my COO, "What marketing firm did we contract for the 4th quarter campaign?" Her response came back in under a minute. "Apex Media Group, why?" My stomach dropped, then turned to ice, then to something else, something focused. Derek's career-making deal was my company. He had been bragging to me, the person who approved the contract, about landing me as a client. The irony would have been funny if it were not so pathetic. I walked back to the dinner table with a completely different perspective. Watched Derek continue his performance. Watched my family half listen, half wish he would stop talking. And I made a decision right there. Time to pay attention. Real attention. To exactly what Derek was doing with my money. The Monday after Thanksgiving, I called Sarah for what I told her was a routine check-in. Casual, no big deal. Just wanted to know how our various vendors were performing. "How is that Apex Media Group contract going?" I asked, keeping my tone light. Sarah sighed, the kind of sigh that said everything before she even spoke. "Honestly, Luis, they have been problematic. We are 6 weeks into a 12-week contract, and I would say they have completed maybe 40% of the promised work. Quality has been subpar. And there have been some invoice discrepancies." "What kind of discrepancies?" "Line items for services that were never actually delivered. Our marketing manager, James, has complained multiple times. He has actually been pushing to terminate the contract early, but I wanted to wait and see if they could turn it around." My jaw tightened. What exactly did we contract them for? Sarah pulled up the details. $60,000 agreement for a 12-week digital campaign. Social media management, content creation, search engine optimization. So far, we have paid $35,000. The work we have received is worth maybe $15,000. Generic content. No customization. Lots of copy-paste approaches. Several deliverables are just missing entirely. Who is the account lead on their side? I heard computer keys clicking. Derek Morrison. Do you know him? I closed my eyes. He is family. Do not mention this conversation to anyone yet. Let me look into it. After I hung up, I sat in my home office for a long time. The view from my window showed downtown Austin waking up, people heading to coffee shops, starting their days, normal lives. And here I was discovering that my brother-in-law was not just arrogant. He was stealing from me. Because that is what it was. Billing for work not done. That is fraud. And he was doing it while mocking me for being between jobs. I called my friend Marcus, a business attorney I had known since college. I need a favor. Discreet background check. Personal and professional. Who are we looking at? Derek Morrison and Apex Media Group. Marcus did not ask why. Good friends do not. He just said, "Give me 48 hours." Those 48 hours felt like 48 years. I could not stop thinking about it. Could not stop running scenarios. Part of me wanted to be wrong. Wanted to find out that this was all some misunderstanding. That Derek was actually good at his job and TechBridge was just being too picky. But I knew better. I had built my company on attention to detail, on integrity, on delivering exactly what we promised when we promised it. The idea that someone could take my money, deliver garbage, and then brag about it at family dinner. That burned. Marcus called me back on Wednesday evening. You are going to want to sit down for this. I was already sitting.